There are fast engines, there are powerful engines. And then there's the 2JZ-GTE, an engine Toyota never intended to break records, yet it ended up humiliating supercars, surviving absurd levels of power, and becoming an impossible-to-replace legend. An inline-six born in the 1990s that, against all logic, is still the benchmark when people talk about extreme reliability and unlimited tuning potential. And that leads us to an uncomfortable question. How did an engine designed more than 30 years ago achieve something modern engineering still hasn't been able to replicate? To understand that, we first have to travel back to the context in which it was born. In the late 80s and early 90s, Toyota wasn't trying to create a cultural icon. Its goal was far simpler and more conservative: to build a refined, smooth, powerful, and extremely reliable engine for its high-end lineup and for a sports car that needed to compete with the biggest names of the era. Japan was living in a time when durability and long-term reputation were absolute priorities, and that was directly reflected in how engines were designed. The 2JZ wasn't born as an aggressive experiment. It was born as an over-engineered block, built to last hundreds of thousands of kilometers without failure. At the heart of the 2JZ-GTE is its cast-iron block, a decision many today would consider outdated, but one that was crucial at the time. While other manufacturers were beginning to switch to aluminum to reduce weight, Toyota chose a heavier, stiffer block that was far more resistant to deformation. That block didn't just withstand high temperatures and pressures, it provided an extremely stable foundation for any kind of mechanical stress. Add to that a forged crankshaft, robust connecting rods, and tolerances designed to survive real abuse, not just pretty numbers on a spec sheet. The cylinder head, meanwhile, was designed with remarkable efficiency for its era. Dual overhead camshafts, 4 valves per cylinder, and airflow that allowed the engine to breathe effortlessly even at high RPM. But the real statement came with the GTE version, equipped with a sequential twin-turbo system that delivered progressive response and smooth power delivery, avoiding the harsh, on-off character many turbo engines had back then. From the factory, the 2JZ-GTE produced figures that might seem modest today, but they were far below what the engine could actually handle. And this is where the legend truly begins. Over time, tuners and enthusiasts started to realize that the 2JZ didn't just tolerate more power, it seemed comfortable with it. Power increases that would spell catastrophic failure for other engines were barely a warm-up for the 2JZ. 500 horsepower, 600, 800. And the block remained intact. Even with stock internal components, the engine displayed a level of durability that seemed to defy logic. It wasn't magic, it was conservative engineering taken to the extreme. This behavior wasn't accidental. Toyota designed the 2JZ with an enormous safety margin, taking into account demanding markets, variable fuel quality, and users who wouldn't always be meticulous with maintenance. That margin, which under normal conditions would never be fully used, became the perfect playground for the high-performance world. Where other engines collapsed, the 2JZ simply kept going, and that changed its destiny forever. With the rise of global tuning culture, especially driven by street racing and the popularity of the Toyota Supra, the 2JZ-GTE stopped being just an engine and became a symbol. A symbol of reliability, infinite potential, and an era when manufacturers built engines with longevity in mind rather than future regulations. But every legend has an uncomfortable side. The 2JZ-GTE is heavy, bulky, and inefficient compared to modern standards. Meeting today's emissions regulations with such a design would be extremely expensive. On top of that, its manufacturing relied on materials and processes that would be unfeasible today for mass production focused on cost reduction. And there lies the great paradox. The engine everyone admires is, at the same time, a product of a philosophy that no longer exists.